when we get done with this stream.
Yeah. Hey there, everybody. Welcome once again to Astronomy Daily Live. It is 2:01 UTC. Running incredibly late today, but definitely here nevertheless. So I want to pull up the chat, which I didn't do. Oh man, so I'm going to have to go through all of that to pull up my chat really quick. Bear with me with the technical difficulties here. I did everything except pull up the chat. So let me do that really quick because I definitely like to keep track of things, all the shenanigans going on over there, because there are usually some really great ones and I don't want to miss out on anything whatsoever. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. Things are good here. Nothing incredibly exciting or interesting. Actually got a response.
I have to check your YouTube feed because oh, never mind.
Am I all right?
Your video feed is not up for some reason.
The video. Everything okay?
Nope. Negative.
No. Let me, it might have something to do with what I'm doing here in terms of popping out chat and all that kind of stuff. So, how about now? Is it better?
Still not there yet. I mean, I can hear you, and they can hear me.
Yeah.
But your video feed is not up for some reason.
The video feed is not up, huh? Camera isn't. Broadcast is working. Hey there, Deep Sky Dude. Nice to see you in the chat. Let me. I'm just going to pull out the USB cable and put it back in, and see if that does it. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. How about now?
All right, check. Okay, checking. I'm going to give it because usually there's a delay between here and the feed.
Yeah, there's usually a little bit of a delay. We don't like having these technical difficulties, but they're always fun.
I'm still going to pretty much give it a no.
Give it a no. Audio but no video.
Yeah, that's it.
Interesting. I am not quite sure why. What if I try to share my screen? Because, I mean, if I can share my screen, yeah, that's all that really matters. You guys don't have to look at my ugly mug. So here, I'm going to try to share my screen. Okay. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? I'm looking at the most recent archive.org page.
Doesn't look like there's no video coming out at all.
No video
coming at all. Not even the screen share function is not even working.
Not even the screen share function? Well, what is going on here? I'm seeing everybody in the chat really, really well.
Yeah, check your YouTube feed.
Yeah, well, let me, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm seeing my video here.
Yeah. But
on my screen.
If it's on even my face is not even showing up too.
Yeah,
I can tell you my buddy and I has been having issues on YouTube and stuff.
Oh yeah? Well, maybe it's a YouTube thing. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe
Okay, I can see my avatar, but my video is also not showing up as well.
Well, you know, everything. I think everything does sort of go through my pipe, right? So yeah, I'm not too surprised if you're not seeing me,
Yeah, I
then you're
think of what we're gonna do. Can
not
you
seeing you.
maybe like restart the computer, restart everything, like
Yeah,
shut the speed down and do like a port two or something?
yeah, I can, you know, I think there's a certain amount of time I can shut the Hangout down, and if I restart it um, in a given amount of time, um, I should be able to I should be able to um, just come right back in. So why don't I try doing that? Okay, so I'm going to shut the Hangout down like I normally would at the end of a live stream, and then I will restart it all. And I guess if nothing else, I'll create a new live event, and you all are just going to have to jump. So yeah, sorry about that. Just a little technical things. Not quite sure if it's on my side or on YouTube side. I have to assume it's sort of on my side.
Yeah. So what you do, you need to like reboot the modem and all
Yeah,
that. Reboot the
I'm just
modem,
gonna
reboot the router, restart
I'm
the whole
just
caboodle.
I'm just gonna restart Google Hangouts for starters, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, here we go. Hopefully, I'll see you in a couple minutes. Three, two. Oh, one thing, Bobby, can you see my video on our little chat thing here?
You're talking about the YouTube app?
No, with the Hangouts here. Can you see me? Because I can see you on the Hangouts. You know, our thing. You being a panelist, right? You sort of have.
No, what I can do is we can both disengage for easier purposes. I can see you if you're there or not. When so when I if I come when you come back, I'll come back.
Right,
And
but what I'm at.
I can do it on the YouTube thing.
Right, but what I'm asking is that can you see me on this Google Hangout?
Yes, I can.
Oh, you can. Okay, so my video is going out. So, okay, well, I'm just going to restart Google Hangouts and I'll come right back in, right? So it'll be like less than 30 seconds. It should be easily, right? Okay, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so theoretically, maybe I'm back. And you know, it's kind of funny. I was just thinking about how Fraser Kane always waits at the beginning of every live stream for a acknowledgement of existence, and I don't see that. What I was thinking was, it's like, you know, you really don't have to do that, right? I mean, as soon as you go live, you're live, right? And then, of course, this happens. So I'm hoping that you all can see me. Chuck is saying, there I am. Yeah. Am I here? I, I certainly feel as though I'm here. One can never know, though.
All right.
So
I think we're back to school. We are back. The video is working and everything's with pure intent.
everybody's good? All right. So Yeah, it was just a little bit of a glitch. So good, 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 good. Yes, here I am. I actually do exist. Um, I was thinking the whole time, so I think I am. So, isn't that
Yeah,
what Descartes said? Where are my Descartes books here? I've actually got the uh, the the philosophical writings of Descartes, Volume One, and the philosophical writings of Descartes, Dusty, Volume 2. So, and somewhere in here, I don't remember exactly where, but you can actually read the actual text of, I think, therefore I am. It's somewhere in here. Wow, I haven't read these in a long time.
I'm not sure if Carolina Sky Astronomy is a girl or not, but only women can call me Booby.
What's that? Oh, well, that's called a Freudian slip. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. I'm glad that.
So I give her introduction.
Well, I think we still need to go through the formal introductions here. So you can call me Cosmic,
And you can
and
call me Bobby.
on the panel once again is Bobby. Bobby, what is going
Yes.
on?
Oh, nothing much, man. Oh, what's also I'm not sure that's even true with the Google Hangouts, but I just did the extension variant, and I was able to get back to you from there without going to the link first.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Well,
I
good.
was I was wondering if you can do that on Google Hangouts on there, just directly invite me without the link.
I actually can. There is a place to just enter a Google name, I guess, and do it that way. And I've just always opted to send out the email thing. That seems to work, and it works for everyone, right? So you don't have to have a Google account or anything I don't think, to necessarily be on the panel. By the way, I haven't mentioned this in a long time, but one of the things that I definitely want to do, right, is I want to fill up this panel. I think you can have up to 10 slots here, right? And I think it would make this live stream much more lively. I mean, I'm okay, doing most of the talking and everything. That's fine. I mean, I love to talk about astronomy and space and science and all that kind of stuff. But with a panel, right, we could actually have a live discussion, and I wouldn't have to talk so much. I definitely encourage you all that if you want to join the panel, you can send me an email to cosmiclettuce@gmail.com and just say you want to get on to the panel, the live stream panel. And what that does in my mind is that turns on a switch, right? Which means every single time I live stream, here at least, with the obsessions, I use my smartphone. So I don't think that there's any kind of panel possibility. I'm not sure. But when I'm here, if you want to be on the panel, you send me an email, and that, as I said, turns on a switch, right? And every single time I do a live stream, I will send you an email with the Google Hangouts uh, um, link, right? And you click on the link and you pop in here just like Bobby does pretty much every single day. So yeah, and Atta, those T-shirts are actually in the works. Um, I've got a design. My coworker is actually getting into the business of making T-shirts and mugs and hats, and he's sort of he's been spending a lot of time on a learning curve, trying to learn how to make these things, because it's I mean it's a pretty steep learning curve, but he's got it down pretty well now. And so actually, I've been bugging him to make me a shirt and a mug. He's, but I don't want just any old mug, right? I I don't like sort of the regular sized mugs, right? I think they're too small. They are too thin, right? I just don't like them. So I either like a mug, like this, right? Which is nice volume, right? Nice volume, kind of thin, but a nice big mug, right? I like that. Or I like a mug that, if it's going to be small, I want it to be a nice thick. You see how thick that is, right? If you throw that up against a wall, it's going to damage the wall, right? That's all that's going to happen. This thing is not going to necessarily break. Now, I mean, if I tried, to break this, I could. But the cool thing is that he's got access to moderately large mugs. So definitely for sure, ADL shirts and ADL mugs are sort of on their way. I've been watching his progress, and uh, t-shirts having a head of lettuce flying through space. That is an interesting design concept. I think Jim, I think I'm going to take that and run with it and see what I can do there. I'm not necessarily a graphic designer, right? But I do like to play with those kinds of things, and if you've seen the graphics I do for my Twitter feed, which, by the way, is at Astro and Music. I don't think I mentioned that very much. Astro and Music. I'll put that in the on the chat there. You can definitely follow me there. I'm not incredibly active on Twitter, but I do, at least a couple times a day, I'll send out something, right? Either a retweet or a like or something, right? So feel free to follow me there. But yeah, if you're interested in being on the panel, now you can come onto the panel whenever you want, right? My job, right, will be to send you an email every single day, right? And the subject of that email will always be ADL panel, right? Um, and and uh, um, and you can choose, right? To come onto the panel or not. It'd be great if you did. Um, you don't even have to show your face, right? You can just do the audio thing. So Chuck, um, um, you were saying, you'd have to fix up your your cave. Not necessarily. You just need a mic, right? You know, anyway, consider that a invitation, and I think by having a panel, I think that this could become a pretty interesting live stream, especially because it's a daily thing, right? Where we can get together each and every day and chit chat about all things astronomy and space and science and all that stuff. And yeah, I I don't have to then necessarily talk as much as I do now, because I mean, really, I'm a pretty quiet dude, right? Um, like I say, this is the most number of words that I say in an entire day, is this hour or so. Uh, anyway, so cool. All right. Well, I'm glad everybody's here. Excellent. I'm seeing some nice lively chat there. So that is very, very awesome. And yeah, actually, if you look on my Discord server, there's a channel called, I think it's called Merch, if I remember right. Let me go over and look at that. I need to yeah, it's called Merch. I actually haven't gone over here in a little while. Oh yeah, that's where I put a few links to the puzzles that I'm making, the jigsaw puzzles that I'm um, making. You can actually, Atta, if you want, you can go over to teespring.com, and there is an ADL t-shirt there. I think they're pretty expensive. I mean, that's um, completely up to you. But yeah, I'm I'm not doing this live stream uh, to make a living or anything like that. I'm here, to share a passion, I am definitely gonna let this live stream evolve. If it becomes more than what it has been, that's okay, right? I mean, I'm going to let things do what they're going to do, right? But uh, I'm not necessarily going to advertise any kind of merchandise or anything. That's just not my thing. You can go and look at the stuff that I've got, and if you want it, get it. That's all. It's just a matter of that. So cool. All right. Well, this is a virtual porch where we gather each and every day. So grab your favorite consumable of choice. I've got the hydrogen hydroxide again today, HOH. It's a very well balanced molecule, and yeah, I think I've probably got maybe about 10 to the 24th molecules in here. I've probably got about 2 moles of this incredible molecule in here. Now there is, this is definitely not pure, right? There's some contamination and all kinds of other things that actually makes it taste very, very delicious. So cheers to that.
And I got my faucet water. Cheers.
Excellent. Yes. And all consumables are very much allowed here. Yeah, enjoy. This is a time, of day for me to sort of just sit back relax, forget about the rest of the world, and think about the universe for a while. It it's it's a time to relax and sort of open up the mind, right? Just a little bit. Um, try to see a bigger picture, and try to gain maybe a slightly better understanding of what our situation is. And I can tell you, from my point of view, our situation is absolutely fantastic. I don't think that we realize how awesome things actually are. We all exist in our little boxes, right? And we're all in a box, right? And it's really, really, really hard to see outside of that box, right? But outside of that box is pretty much limitless possibilities. And I think as more of us realize this, these little problems, and I mean, I call them little problems, but these problems that we have here, um, don't seem to be as important anymore. There's this concept of the post scarcity society where you know I'm trying to imagine a situation where everything that you need and want, you can just have, right? You don't have to buy it. You don't have to even work for it, right? It's just there, right? That's a very, very distinct possibility. Um, and what is society going to look like with those kinds of circumstances, right? It's going to look very, very different, very, very different. And yeah, of course, the box is sort of a metaphor, right? But we have limits to at least right now, what we can think and experience and know. And there's just, I look around and everybody has sort of a different set of experiences and perceptions and all of that, and many of those are just way outside of mine, right? So that's why I say, I sort of use the metaphor of a box where it's just we're confined in this cube, and it's hard to see out of that box, because it's sometimes opaque. So yeah. All right. Well, cool.
Looks like I
Yeah.
better be doing web touring, that's for sure. I can't even get this BLC plugin to work because I got foul on make.
Yeah. The the horrendous trying to build from a make file and it failing. That's a common thing. That's very, very common. So yeah, and um, um, Atta, you're exactly right. I mean, we've known for a long time that there's more than enough right now to go around, right? Every Everyone and everything could be living at a very, very, very high standard of living. um, it's a distribution thing, and that's sort of you know that 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 distribution system is a lot of what we fight over. So and it just ain't necessary. Rezok the Frost Demon, ah, bummer, bummer. Too bad. I wish that you could just come in here and um, share some joy with us, share this passion that we all have for the science of astronomy, and sort of forget about everything else and just come in here and relax, chill for a little while, and think all things astronomical. But if you're going to do those kinds of things, yep, bam, crush him. Thank you, Mr. Bobby.
Not a problem.
All right, cool. So, well, I guess I was, one of the things that I like to do each and every day, and I don't um, I don't necessarily do this each and every day, but as often as I possibly can, I like to go over to archive.org. That's ARXIV. The X is supposed to be like the Greek letter chi, so it's archive.org. And this is a place for newly accepted to be published scientific papers to be made available to us. Technically, these papers are called preprints, right? So a researcher will come up with some kind of a topic, right? They'll formulate some kind of experiment of some sort, right? I mean, and it either could be a simulation or it could be going out and actually collecting data, right? And so they'll run the simulation, or they'll collect the data, and then they'll take that data and they'll analyze it, right? And see what the data tells them. And at the end of that process, what most scientists like to do is they want to tell everybody, right? Scientists have a horrible time keeping secrets, right? So and that especially goes for work they're doing, right? So what they'll do after they've done this work is they will write a paper, right? They'll write some kind of a scientific paper, and they will send it off to either one or more publishers, to, like a journal, right, like a magazine, and see if that journal will publish, right? And so they submit a paper, and I forget exactly when they have to pay, but a payment is made at some point, and it's actually pretty expensive to publish. It's at least a couple $100 per page, right? So I mean, it's pretty expensive, to publish things, and maybe that's changing now because of electronics. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that still is sort of the case, right? So then the journal receives the paper, and sends, figures out sort of the subject matter, right? And these journals have asked on, I'm pretty sure on a volunteer basis, for one or two or three experts in each of these uh, fields or subfields, right? So if um, some astronomer, right, writes a paper about white dwarf stars, right, then what the journal will do is they'll find a couple of experts on white dwarf stars, and they will send this paper to these experts to act as a referee, right? And this is called peer review, right? Somebody knowledgeable in that subject will take a look at the paper and evaluate it, right? Is it something worth publishing, right? And that's that can be a subjective thing. I think many referees, they probably have some kind of a formulation, at least in their head, um, uh, as to they look at a paper and it's like, okay, you know this paper has this kind of structure, good, check. This paper, talks about this subject, and they do this kind of analysis, check, right? And they come to certain conclusions, check, right? Um, and the referee will oftentimes um, come back with a few notes saying, okay, author, um, I think that you need to explain this a little bit better, right? Or um, maybe you need to do a little bit more um, um, collection of data, or something, right? Um, uh, Oftentimes the referee will be like, great, sounds great, publish it, right? But oftentimes, the author um, um, and the referee will sort of go back and forth at least once or twice, right? And the intent is to make this paper great, right? That is sort of
Right. The Justin T and Caroline Sky Astronomy is asking, what about dark matter? Can you even capture dark matter?
Justin T. What about dark matter? Um, well, I Carolina or Jim,
Yeah, Jim.
capturing dark matter. Dark matter is still sort of a theoretical thing, at least as far as I'm concerned. You'll hear a lot of scientists say, "No way, man! It's a done deal." Right? Dark matter exists. Just look around. Right? Just look around, and it seems pretty obvious that there is something weird going on. And if we include this dark matter into our models, then our models match the data, right? So therefore, it's got to exist, right? Now, uh, if you go outside right now and look around, right, the Earth looks pretty flat, right? So is your conclusion that the Earth is flat? or do you need to take a broader view, um, and consider the possibility that maybe you're not seeing the whole picture? Um, and once you do that, you realize that yeah, don't think that the Earth is flat. Now that's a poor example, because of all the controversy there, and I I I'm not going to waste any time with that. Um, but just
Yeah,
because
I'd like to
one
welcome our newcomer, Professor Foxtrot.
Professor
Sometimes academic
Foxtrot.
progress. Yeah, if you check in the chat about what autonomy has said.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think, on the subject of dark matter, I think uh, it's something that we don't quite understand yet, but I think we will. I think we will. Anyway, so yeah, a paper gets accepted for publication, and then the author waits, waits, and it usually takes 2 or 3 or 4 months to actually have that paper published. But in the meantime, right, as soon as that paper is accepted for publication, it becomes what is called a preprint, right? Which is exactly um, um, what that word implies. It's a copy of the paper, um, prior to actual publication, right? But once it's been accepted by the journal, it's essentially been published, right? No rules are being broken or anything there. And so and, what these folks at archive.org have done, and it's actually hosted by Cornell University, is that each and every weekday, right, Monday to Friday, usually around like 1 hour UTC or so, something like that, 1 or 2 hours UTC, a new group of papers will be made available. And this I've always called sort of the bleeding edge of research, right? Because this is sort of the newest and grooviest stuff, um, going on, not only in space and astronomy and all that, but with mathematics, biology, computer science. Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of subjects, right? So if you're interested in keeping up with sort of the latest, greatest, bleeding edge scientific research, archive.org is a great resource. So I like to go there, because I do like to keep up on those kinds of things. And look, most of the papers in there, right, are going to just fly. They fly over everybody's head, right? Right? It's like, what are they talking about? It's like I can't get it at all, right? But you know what I do, and what I recommend in that case, right, is you go back to what you did when you were 3 years old, right, and what you did when you were that young, couldn't understand a word, right, which is exactly what the situation here is, right. Go look at the pictures. Ingrid, it was nice to see you in the chat. Glad you could stop
Yeah.
by. Say hi to everybody down there in Brazil. Yeah, it was great to see you. And
Yeah, you have a good night, Ingrid.
yep, take care and come on in anytime you want. Cheers.
Yep.
All right, excellent. So yeah, I like to go over there from, well, when I can, but I like to get over there every day if I can. Um, um, and yeah, it's not ARCHIVE, it's
Yeah, that.
ARXIV. Yeah, ARXIV.org. So it's that, Chuck. Um, so yeah, archive.org is also very, very awesome. Don't let me knock that. That's also a great resource too. But yeah, I'm talking about ARXXIV, where the X is supposed to be the Greek letter chi. It's an X. So yeah, these are weird scientists, right? They come up with all kinds of clever things. Now, uh, archive.org is sort of it's sort of where the accepted papers are put. There are two other places that I found to be some pretty interesting work going on. One is called Vikra.org, and Vikra is spelled Vixra, right? It's just ARXIV backwards, right? So it's VI chi or XRA.org. And if you go to Vikra.org, you'll see some sort of the same kind of layout, but the papers are a little bit more esoteric, a little bit more way out there, and and uh, yeah, Uncle Bill, I'm just pointing that out. So I'm right with you. Yeah. So yeah, let's definitely, let's look at archive today, and let's look at Vikra too. But there's another one. There's another one too, and oh, I haven't gone over to this site in so long that I don't even remember. Isn't that horrible? I don't even remember what it's called because it's been so long since I've been over there. So I'm going to go look over on my bookmarks really quick, because of course I've got it on my bookmarks and I will find it here. There it is. It's called Progress in Physics, and I will post a link to that over on the chat as well. Now, if you want to read some far out stuff, right? Now these people are serious, right? They're not joking. They're not messing around. These people are putting in some huge amount of work, right? Huge amount of work. They have these ideas, right? And as far as I'm concerned, look, what I always talk about and always will, right, is this idea of keeping a very open mind, right, as extreme open-mindedness as you possibly can, right, but also be extremely skeptical and be extremely curious, right? Those three things are awesome, right? So definitely check all of those out, and yeah, let's I'm gonna share my screen here really quick, and I actually hear somebody is knocking at my door, so I'm going to leave you over here at the Progress in Physics site, and I'll be right back in like 10 seconds. Hold on. Come on, hurry up. You're late. You're late. Okay, here we go. Now, all these papers are free, right? So you can go and read any of these, right? They're just PDF files. And as you can see, these go all the way back to 2005. 2005 is when this journal started, right? And let's look at some of these titles here, right? Picometer toroidal structures found in the covalent bond, okay, towards the field's origin, on the cosmological significance of Euler's number. Okay, so he's retracting a light experiment. The cosmological significance of superluminility. Yeah, you know, it's just, and as you can see, right, I've noticed that most of these sort of really far out esoteric papers are usually single authors, right? It's usually some guy, right, sitting around thinking about weird stuff and writing these papers on these incredibly amazing topics that most of them I don't have a clue what they're talking about, right? At all. But
it's like this hip hop song sounds like gibberish.
yeah, but the fact of the matter is that everything that we think that we know now, right? Everything that we're sort of sure of now, right? Started as one of these, right? As some so-called crazy idea, right? That somebody had, and after a while, it's developed and thought about and ridiculed and beaten to death and ignored and reimagined and thought about more, experimented on, on and on and on, right? Until we come to sort of the system of beliefs that we have now, and every single one of those that we have now started as one of these crazy ideas, right? This crazy idea that the Earth goes around the sun. Oh, come on. You got to be kidding me. I mean, there's absolutely no way that the Earth can go around the sun, right? That's the most ridiculous thing in the world. That paper would have shown up on this list, right? At some point, right? But now it's sort of accepted that that is probably what is going on, right? So I like to look at these because there's some jewels here, right? And I mean, if nothing else, right? To get into these people's minds, just a little bit of a glimpse it absolutely amazes me what humans can think of, right? The nature of the electron and proton is viewed in the Planck vacuum theory, right? Let's take a quick look. A lot of these are extremely mathematical, so you have to forgive that a little bit. In order to really get to the bottom of a lot of these things, you have to have a pretty good understanding of not only terminology, but what is this math, right? Some weird stuff. I'm seeing partial derivatives here, but I'm seeing some things that I recognize, right? Like MC squared, right? I think I know what that is. At least I recognize it, right? But yeah, you can even email these folks, right? You might like to at least receive some kind of information that they're being recognized, right? Because most of these things, I mean, you have to admit, not very many people are going to see these, right? But who knows, right? Mass energies of the electron and proton, which lead to this. Yeah, just absolutely incredible stuff. I'm gonna kill that. So anyway, that's one place, right? And I greatly encourage you to go through these and just pick one or two that might sound a little bit interesting, um, and see if you can pull anything out of it. You never know, right? You never know, and I think it's absolutely fascinating, right? So there's that one. We can go over to Vixra, or Vicra, as they call it. And as you can see, Vicra looks a lot like Archive in sort of the formatting here, right? They go through physics and mathematics, computational science, biology, chemistry, humanities, academics, right? And astrophysics isn't first, which I just don't understand why that isn't the top of the list. But you have to forgive them, I guess, a little bit. But if we go into astrophysics, as they call it, you can sort of see when these papers were submitted. Now, I'm not sure what kind of review process these papers go through. They may not go through any kind of review at all. But again, it's the situation where you should take a look at these and see what you get out of it. Again, what you'll notice is that a lot of these are single authors, and these people tend to be also very, very prolific, right? So here's George Rajna, right? And he's written a 52-page paper on X-ray communicate in space. I'm not quite sure. That is kind of weird English there, so I'm not quite sure how to interpret that, right? But then the very next paper is a 53-page paper, also written by George, right, on observations of the galactic center. So there we go. And here's another one, right? Here's another one by the same author. So yeah, you can go through all these. These don't come out as frequently as the ones over on archive.org do. Over on archive.org, sort of the most well-known and standard list, you usually get 40 or 50 new papers every single day, right? And as you can see here, sometimes these two were published in the same day. This was published in the same day. This published in the same day. And then there's a few days of gap there. So yeah, maybe one or two or three each day, right? So they're not coming out as fast. But here, low-hanging fruit. There you go. Why the solar planet motion trajectory is an ellipse. Okay, so why do things move in an ellipse? Trying to understand that, huh? What is a black hole? Right? Here's George again. So George is just a prolific writer. We're talking about dark matter. Well, George is talking about mapping historical dark matter. So, who knows who's right and who's wrong, right? Who can judge that, right? I certainly can't. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Development of the universe. That sounds kind of interesting. Some pieces to the Great Red Spot on Jupiter puzzle.
I'd like to welcome officially space. So did you get his email or no?
I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Oh, officially space. Officially space? No, I did not. So you need to. I sent you a message over on my Discord server. So let's have a chat over there, and we'll figure all that out. But welcome. I actually just checked out your YouTube channel, and yeah, I'm going to look at a couple more of your videos, but it looks like I'm probably going to subscribe. So yeah, welcome. But yeah, as of an hour ago, I didn't see an email from you. So go over onto the Discord. I noticed that you just joined that, and I sent you a message over there. So we'll work that out. So the relativistic effects, I guess, of reason. All matters and materials around us are light beams. Cool. Interesting idea. Very interesting idea. So yeah, like I said, keep an open mind, right? Don't close your mind to things, because new ideas come from everywhere, right? And so try not to judge. It's hard. It's really hard to not judge, right? When you read some of the titles of these things, it's like, oh man, what is this crazy stuff, right? But it's the crazy stuff that just might be right. So you never know. Is 2737 phenomenon a real one? I have absolutely no idea what that is. Yeah, who knows, right? You gotta dive into the paper here. It's a long one, right? So I'm not going to get into it now, but yeah, we've gone back a month.
So Jim wants to know if you can read the dark matter paper.
Well, we can certainly take a look at it. I encourage you to take a look at that for sure, because I'm not going to do it justice, right? I mean, wow, it's 55 pages. So yeah, I'm not going to do it any kind of justice at all, but we can certainly look at it here, I suppose. see if there's any pictures, right? Team led by the Kavli Institute for the Physics and Mathematics of the Universe constructed a map of dark matter throughout the history of the universe by analyzing images of more than 10 million galaxies. Okay. Yeah. The dark energy spectroscopic instrument. Now, we'd have to find out if that's an actual instrument or not. I think so. DESI, I think that is, right? The the Mayall telescope is a 4-meter telescope. It's sort of the biggest thing on the mountain, right? The biggest dome. When you go up to Kitt Peak, pretty much the biggest dome at the highest point you see is the Mayall 4-meter telescope. It's a great looking scope. It's no longer the largest in the world, but pretty impressive anyway. So yeah, wow, he just goes on and on here.
Can you
So
post the link to Jim so he can do it for himself?
I can. Well, Jim, I mean, you can go over to Vixra and grab it that way. That is the easiest way. But I mean, I suppose I can easily enough
And
post a link over to the.
everybody to say goodnight to Atta.
Good night, Atta. Take care. Thanks for coming in again. We're just doing all kinds of crazy things as we usually do here. So yeah, see, I mean, it's really amazing how much in depth these papers are, right? Now there's a picture, a still shot from the short HSC mass map, showing a 3D map of how mass, including dark matter, is distributed throughout the universe. Okay. Yeah, I think it's great, right? I think it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, there's the top of the telescope there. So yeah, this guy apparently is doing, uh, you know, um, collecting actual data and all of that, and he's talking about a new theory that could explain the missing 95 percent of the cosmos right there. So yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. So that's Vikra, and as I said, I strongly encourage you to take a look at this. Right? It's oftentimes a little bit out there, but so is everything here on archive.org. Right? There's really not much of a difference. Right? The archive.org is going to have papers that are slightly more conventional, I guess, um, leaning a little bit more towards just observations, right? Or um, collecting data and you're reporting on measurements, that kind of stuff. So here's archive.org. I'll zoom in a little bit on that. Whoop, that's a little bit too much. There we go. Something like that. Let's see. Tidal disruption, event disks around supermassive black holes. ALMA. Passive galaxies in the early universe. Huh. Okay. The Moss-Def survey. Looking at the evolution of star-forming galaxies at pretty high redshift. These are pretty high, which at least according to the current story, sort of implies a large distance, right? So pretty far away. Silver Rush, protoclusters, a window on the magnetic universe in the southern hemisphere. Kind of cool. Modern stellar spectroscopy caveats. Huh.
And we're taking that to Jim.
Take care, Jim. Thanks for coming in. Really enjoying all your videos over there. So keep up the good work. Your videos are great. Are great. So keep up the great work over there. Yeah, editing videos and putting in all the overlays and the graphics and the audio and all that kind of stuff. That's a major amount of work, right? So even for a short thing, it's a major effort. And yeah, I think they're great. Keep coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think was it? I think if I remember right, I just watched one of his on. He had some movies of Jupiter rotating with some of Jupiter's moons. I think that was on his channel. So these are photos that he took and made some movies out of. It's just great. Massive amount of work. I'm just always just blown away by how much work people do. I mean, I don't think that I work as hard as that on things. I don't know. Maybe I do, but I don't think I do. Guided data. Pulsating B-star candidates in the Kepler field. Cool. So yeah, all this secondary science that is coming out from these telescopes that are intended to be looking for exoplanets, right? That's sort of the primary thing, but in those fields of view are lots of other stuff. And so, these astronomers are looking at all that other stuff and finding some interesting stuff, some interesting things that have absolutely nothing to do with the search for planets or anything like that. I think it's great. TESS is going to be exactly the same, except orders of magnitude more than Kepler. I think that TESS is really going to blow our minds. It already is, but I think it's going to be too much for us to handle, which is a good thing, I suppose. All right. Can planets exist in the habitable zone of 55 Cancri? Good question. Deformation of optics for photon Monte Carlo simulations. Interesting. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Well, I think, let's just see how many we've got here. We're down to 25, 26, baryons, gamma rays, tilted disks around black holes. Interesting. I'm not really seeing anything that's really grabbing me. You know what I mean? I mean, all of these are interesting and definitely worth a read, but yeah, you can only do so much. Um, so here's a test observation of a hot Jupiter that they found, I guess, around some star. So that's cool. With an active host star, a four-planet system with an active host star. We definitely, you know, I'm glad that our star is not too active, because I think that's kind of bad news for at least living things as we know it. Um, but life might have a way of dealing with those kinds of things. Who knows, right? That's for the biologists to understand, not the astronomers, I guess. Um, Integral field survey, flyby encounters between two planetary systems. Interesting. So we're up to number 38 here, 39. Solar-like pulsars among test targets. So there you go again, right? TESS is a exoplanet survey telescope, and they are looking for solar-like pulsators. Right? Has nothing to do with planets at all. Right? I love it. These multi-use things are just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Red stragglers. That's an interesting topic. A reference sample of face-on bulgeless galaxies. That's that that might have some interesting pictures at least. I love pictures, you know that. What does this say here? So we present a list of 220 face-on almost bulgeless galaxies, assumed to be counterparts to the objects from the reference flat galaxy catalog. Now, I had absolutely no idea that there was a flat galaxy catalog. That's kind of cool. But yeah, well, that's kind of interesting, because I mean, my understanding of spiral galaxies, these so-called SCD, SD type galaxies, um, most spirals have sort of a bulge in the centers, right, where there seems to be more of like a spheroidal arrangement of stars, and then it sort of spreads out into this thin disk, right? But I guess there are some galaxies that don't have those bulges, right? And they're part of the flat galaxy catalog. Okay, that's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious to see some of these. Okay, so there's one. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Whoop, zoom out. So a face-on SCD galaxy, NGC 3184. So this is from the Palomar Sky Survey 2. So it's a pretty old image here. But okay, well, I can't tell if there's a bulge there or not, right? There's definitely a concentration, but it's hard to tell, I guess, if there's a bulge there or not. A face-on bulgeless galaxy. Okay, so this is how they selected their sample with various parameters and whatnot, and they came up with a list. Cool. That's a very large list. What they say, like 220 galaxies. There's a lot of NGC objects in here, a lot of UGC objects, PGC objects, IC objects. Cool. ESO objects, all galaxies, all sharing sort of similar characteristics, yeah? Oh, here we go. There's lots of galaxies out there. So for some reason, they've decided that these are bulgeless. No, I guess no central bulge. I don't know how they decide that, but definitely all spirals of different types, right? There's ones that have bars, some that don't. Kind of cool. Based on galaxies with different properties. Okay, so I guess the bulge size to total size ratio here. So, okay, I sort of see. So, yeah, so they still have bulges. They're just sort of pretty flat, right? 5%, 10%, 15, 20. And it looks like the majority of them are around like 10% or so. Okay. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what we're able to discern bulge to disk ratio. So, at least according to these guys back in 1986, they found that the bulge to disk ratio sort of followed this function, right? And T is the only variable in here. I'm not quite sure what T is. I guess some kind of type.
They need to show a comparison, said Chuck Nagel.
Yeah. Well, again, we're just doing a real skimming here, right? So we'd have to do a deeper dive, and that's just sort of way beyond what this live stream is capable of.
Yeah.
And
Chuck Nagel says he guesses that it shows it in the light form.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, yep, lots of new papers for today. There's 50. So, yeah, you could spend the entire day, right, the entire week reading one day's worth of papers, and then you'd be a week behind. Yeah, so 59 new ones just today. All right, well, we are definitely at the end of this live stream. I definitely don't want to go much longer, so I will stop sharing the screen, and I will look at the chat really, really quick. And yeah, I think it's about time to get on out of here for today. That's one of the cool things about having a daily live stream, is that there's no rush. There's no need to try to hurry and pack things in, and I need to finish this and I need to do that. It's like, nah, we'll do it tomorrow, or we'll do it the next day, right? So sit back, relax, cheers. All right. Well, I think I'm going to get out of here for now. So thanks everybody again for coming in and just thinking and talking astronomical things for a while. And yeah, definitely check out the alternatives and check out the esoteric stuff, because they're I mean if nothing else, maybe you'll get a chuckle out of it, right? Because some of these ideas sound just crazy, right? But I like those kinds of things. I don't have any problem with any of those ideas at all. I admire the people who work so hard on that stuff, right? And think so much. It's like I said, I mean I don't work that hard or think that hard about things. At least I don't think I do. I really admire those folks, even if they're completely wrong, right? Doesn't matter. They're trying to gain some kind of understanding of what is going on, and they might think that they're even right, and whether they are or not, who knows? Who knows? Time might tell, maybe. Who knows? But all right, everybody, I'm gonna get out of here for now. So peace, cheers, and all that, and I will see you in about 22 and a half hours. Take care. Bye.